All right, thanks for staying with us on News Hub. And we made a promise yesterday, and you know when we make a promise, we keep it. All right, so brought back into the studios a psychiatric nurse, Ajidayo Laleye, who was with us yesterday to talk about mental health, especially in the face of the trauma that many people had gone through due to the hashtag EndSARS protest and some other issues in our society. Once again, a beautiful nurse. You're welcome back into the studios.
Thank you.
All right. So yesterday, there was a queue out. We talked about a couple of things. Can you recap on, for instance, your definition of mental health and how traumatic situations, for instance, like the shootings that took place in Lekki and some other parts of the country, arsons and what have you, could have some effects on a human being who might not even know that he or she is going through some mental situations?
Okay, yesterday we talked about mental health, which is absence of a mental health disorder. And we also talked about the fact that because of this EndSARS protest and other problems associated with it, several people they're finding it difficult to move ahead. They're having these challenges which are quite worrisome. For example, we talked about people who are experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder, which are the aftermath of a traumatic event, or someone who has undergone or experienced a traumatic situation and is finding it difficult to move ahead and to recover from it. We spoke about that and how this has affected so many people. Also, the loss of properties and loss of loved ones, which many are also still grieving at this period in time.
Very, very important. And you know, and it got me thinking after you left yesterday, because it didn't even occur to me that we suffer deficits, especially in healthcare in several areas. Psychiatrists, numbers I understand are way lower than 200, which is why mental health advocates and the rest of people who that industry can find a way to also help and play their role. So when you look at what people are doing, you know, there are people who are the victims who are living with the situation. There are also people who have their individual roles to play. Let me stay with the family, for example, who are closest to the people who have lost their businesses. What will their immediate response be? I mean, if for example, I knew someone who had lost a business, what should I be telling the person or having the person go through the recovery process?
It is an obvious thing, actually, that we have shortage of manpower when it comes to the mental health sector. We have insufficient psychiatrists. Even the psychiatric hospitals are limited. I think in Nigeria we only have about 8 compared to about 200 million population. So we have just little amount of people who are able to care for this huge. And I tell you, a lot of people are going through mental health challenges. Forget the people who are just looking so nice outside. What they are battling with is so great. And to the people, families who have lost loved ones or who are undergoing one problem or the other as a result of the traumatic experiences and things they have lost or people they have lost. Families and friends, we have a responsibility in order to give social support to people like this. That is why we are here for each other, to be able to support each other in times when someone is going through difficulty or a problem. We take time to come close to them, encourage them. At that time, people who have lost something or someone, they are experiencing this grief, they are experiencing emotional problems, and definitely at that time, a lot of things don't even make meaning or sense at the time. But when they see people around them, there is a sense that I think I'm going to be fine.
I did that. It's maybe to be easier when the person lets you know that he or she is passing through something and cannot handle it. How do you handle someone who tells you all is well, I'm fine, I'm okay, and he actually is not okay? So how do you bring help to such people who seem to be kind of in charge of the situation, whereas they're not?
I would say there is an easy answer, which everybody always say. We all are victims of this. When someone asks me, "How are you?" I say, "I'm fine." Yes, it's something. But actually, we all know what we are going through at that time.
Yes.
We know we are not fine, but it is best for us that whatsoever it is that we're going through, let's be expressive. There is no harm in letting people know that this is what I'm going through, I need help. And there is no way people will be able to help you if you don't say it, if you keep it bottled up. So we need to reorientate ourselves as citizens, as individuals, that we cannot be fine all the time, but we can be better. And then we try to reach out to people who can help. Not everybody understands what we are going through at that time, but people who can help. For instance, if you're having difficulties in sleeping, if you're having nightmares, if you're having running probably suicidal thoughts in your head, and you say, this thing, you know that you are going through this problem, there is no harm in reaching out to a mental health practitioner and say, I am going through this problem. Can you help me?
You know, there was something Sharon said yesterday, which was about children. And it suddenly also got me thinking. I mean, it was a really difficult job, even for parents, getting back from work and having to coach the children. I mean, many parents just impatient for that and couldn't handle it. But the coronavirus forced them to go through the route sitting with them in the virtual classes. And I have a senior colleague who would always ask me, Hope, you're telling them what is going on and understand what is happening. Why I'm saying this is, now you have the children get back to school with the coronavirus. Then you have them go back home because of the riots that happened during the protest. And then some of them are going back again to school. All in all, maybe 1-2 months, children have been to school and the entire year. And many of them have questions. We're traditionally in a society where children don't talk. Children don't express themselves. They start to sort of, okay, maybe later on in their life, but culturally, I've not seen the generation of children who are speaking up yet as they speak, make a lot of noise in the Western Hemisphere. But how are they affected children mentally with what is going on? Protest and going to school and not going to school, the pictures of the riots they get to see. Many of them haven't seen this in their lifetime.
Adults can deal with some situations, but for children, they're just coming up. And all these happenings are new to many of them. And in this time, I think it is best for parents or guardians and other people around to be able to look out for our children. Children have a way of communicating. If the parent or the guardian is keen or get closer to them to find out things from them. For example, there was a child that was brought to my clinic, and he said, the mother was like, I noticed something about this child. Since the time, for a few days ago, she has been screaming out of sleep. She has been just fearful, and she's not really sleeping so well. And I was like, okay, what happened prior to this time? How does this child sleep? So, oh, he sleeps so well, there's nothing like this, but these are recent changes. Now, trying to find out what might have caused all this, he was like, we watched a video of someone who was being killed during the EndSARS protest. So we watched a video at home and we were talking about it. Since that time, there was so much blood and all. And since that time, this child has just been reacting, could not sleep, just shouting out. He's just so hypersensitive and all that. And really, it is until we're not able to help the child and with all our psychotherapies and all that, the child is recovering. But the thing is, we need to look out for our children. Now, at this time that children are going back to school, we should be able to, when the child comes back, I know we parents are also scared, and also experiencing stress on our own part. Right. But then, when these children comes back from school, are we able to engage them? Are we able to ask, how was the school today? Do we even know the kind of friends they associate with, the things they do in school, and even if they're in their private time, what are for those children that actually have phones, what are those things they are going through or on their computer? What are those things they are checking? So we need to be keen and to look into all these things, because children, even when they are bullied in school, sometimes when they get home, they will not see anything. And bullying, even in school, is really a contributing factor to so many children going through some mental health challenges, and even to the extent of them committing suicide. So until parents and guardians, we are trying to get closer to these children, know what is happening, we will not be able to know.
All right, this particular question is something I always even ask ordinary people on the roads, that why do you think an average person who possibly might even need the attention of a psychiatrist would always shy away from going there?
That's a great question. It is so easy for an individual to say, let me go and see my dentist. I have a toothache, or I have pain on my body. But when it comes to mental health or seeing the psychiatrist, they shy away from it. And it bothers me to the extent that our mental health is far so important that people ignore it. I would say probably because there is low level of awareness.
Okay.
And also probably because there is little facilities that cares for this, and the proximity of where people stay might not be as close to them or something like that.
I mean, because there's like stigma. Some people say, okay, you are going to Aro, you don't mental or something like that.
And if I see a psychiatrist or a psychiatric nurse, people, they will tag me like, or probably I just walked through the gate. This is part of them. So it's part of those contributing factors. But if I always say something, if mental health problems or emotional problems are written all over our body, then we will know how many people that are going through this. And there is really no shame in that. When I am not feeling well, when I am not fine, I can see somebody who can help me, and then I assess that kind of care. And I think it's actually high time that we increase our level of awareness and also make people to understand that we can recover from this. Well, no matter what or no matter what the problem is, we can recover.
Right. As we try and bring discussion to a close, which I'm thoroughly enjoying part 2 of the discussion we started yesterday. I don't know if there will be part 3, but definitely part 2 is a good watch. Social media is massive, and I'm trying to draw a link between social media, which powered the protest majorly before people got on the streets, and mental health. I had people feeling down after the entire protest went south, and the way the violence happened. It was never the original plans of the guys who began. I mean, they began a model protest that, as generations to come, will talk about how, you know, they organize themselves, especially at the Lekki Toll Plaza. But social media and mental health, what do you think? A lot of people feel when they go into those social media pages, they get riled up again, and, you know, some don't know how to handle it. Well, what are your thoughts?
Social media is good because we are able to get real-time informations, and the way now everybody has a smartphone, we can record anything at any time. But the thing is, there are some actual information that we upload that we don't know the extent of the damage it's going to do to another person. And as on an individual level, we cannot control that. We cannot control what another person is going to upload
so
or
even with
post.
all those warnings, graphic, blah, 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 you're
Yes.
allowed to see, if I put up on the social media, it doesn't help in any way.
The thing is, it boils down to the individual level that I am able to control myself and regulate what I go there to check. Now, if I know that I actually need information about a particular thing, let me go straight into that. And you don't actually have to click on every videos that you see, because you don't know whichever video or information that is going to provoke any kind of mental health problem in you, especially young ones and even as adults. So social media is good, but one has to be able to control it and take time off social media for some time and take time to rest. Yes.
And don't chill. All right, Adedayo, let's round off with your words to people watching now about taking care of their mental health in just about 30 seconds as we go.
Whatsoever the challenge that we are facing as an individual, we can get better. And so, if there's anything that you're going through at a particular point in time and you need a mental health professional to help you, reach out for that help. Mental affairs does that actually. You can call in, you can text, and so other mental health programs that's been set up in order to help people. So seek out and reach out for help.
All right. Thank you very much. A pleasure speaking with you today. And it's almost like a mental health week. Enjoy the conversation. And so, because tomorrow the mental health week will also be here on News Hub. But thank you very much. You've been most engaging.
You're welcome.
All right, Adedayo Laleye there, a mental health advocate and psychiatric nurse. We're talking about mental health this week. Please, let's take care of that. Many big thank you. Let me say a big thank you to everyone who's been on the program today, especially our guests and all our callers, especially you for watching. We'll do it again tomorrow morning. You have the wise men in the house. The wise woman will be somewhere cooking for them. I'm sure we did have a beautiful day.
And I'm our Obo. There's the news to come. There's Silverbird today. There is Sports
And later on
Cafe,
today, let's invite them to join us.
There is countdown to the White House at 10 p.m. I'm going to be back. I'm going to be like dead man walking tomorrow. Good grief. Who invented time zones? Esta bonita.
I thought we were not going to